Oh my God! I want to run up and down the street and do cartwheels.
My liquor pick of the week.
Liquor? I don't even know.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So good.
So good.
Damn it, Wendy.
Get rid of my hairy balls.
When are we hanging out?
People accuse me for having a set of balls on
It
me.
almost tastes like a spiked coffee.
Yeah, it's delicious, right?
I feel like I'm watching a drama unfold.
I didn't get my balls lasered off.
Oh, I'm gonna gag. I have to contain my crazy a little bit.
Tales over cocktails.
Tales over cocktails. So let's get it on.
You're listening to Tales Over Cocktails.
What's happening, everybody? Tales over cocktails. We got 3 ladies and 2 guys today. Wes is not joining us. Let's first pick up a glass and say cheers, as we always do. 1, 2, 3. Cheers!
Am I the only one not drinking wine?
I'm drinking
No.
wine.
I see the 2 guys are drinking water. Why are you guys pussies? What's going on?
No.
No,
Who said
I
this
bet
is
you
water?
Anthony's got Tito's.
Ha! No, close. I have a manly White Claw.
Ah.
No. Let me explain to you why it's manly. It's a White
Why?
Claw with 3 shots of Tito's.
Ah,
Okay.
that's good.
Gotta throw some masculinity
The
in there.
nectar of the earth. It's just.
Actually, have you
it's
heard
just
about the new White Claw slushie that people are making on TikTok?
No.
No.
So basically, you take whatever flavor White Claw you want, you mix it
Right.
with fruit, some ice, throw in some shots of your vodka, or you could use rum and blend it
No,
up.
yeah,
and
you
make
got to throw
White-
shots in. Because if I
that's
if
why.
I drink a White Claw straight up, I feel like a college girl. I can't. I have to throw something in there.
Wait, you're not a college girl?
You look like a
No.
college girl sometimes, but hey.
No,
So Danielle,
I
I
have
feel
been
like
mistaken.
Dee, I feel like you should introduce our guests. And also, I'm so curious, how do you all know each other?
Oh my God, let's get to that in a minute. But first, let's
You
introduce.
can introduce one, I'll introduce the other, and then we'll explain the situation.
But this is Anthony Rodia. He is also known as at Rodia Comedy. He is a
Yes.
funny mother effer. He
Thanks.
is full of laughs. He has a few characters, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes, that you guys will get to know very well, I promise you. How I met Anthony is through Greg Charles, who told me, oh, I got this funny guy that wants to come in and he promote his show at Caroline's on Broadway, which we're all very familiar with. And I was like, yeah, I love that guy. He's so funny. And then I messaged him and I was like, listen, we're not going to be able to do it because we are working from home and we're not having any guests in. And then we just started becoming like BFFs in like a matter of 2 seconds. So that's Anthony Rodia and how
We've
I
gotten
know
our
him.
nails done together via Zoom.
Yeah. I got a pedicure
I can see that one.
and he got a manicure and a pedicure.
Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm going to connect my Ethernet. I want to make sure I have good connection. Hold on. Sal, your hair looks phenomenal, by the way.
No, it
I
doesn't.
I shall introduce our other guest. We've got
Oh.
Sal, the voice, Valentinetti, hanging out with us. Of course,
Hey.
the voice, because he's got the most amazing singing voice that I personally have ever heard when it comes to any type of like old school Frank Sinatra type of sound. And of course, you may recognize him because he was on America's Got Talent. And he got the Golden Buzzer. So
Wow.
Mr. Golden Buzzer, and became friends with Heidi Klum. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. Oh,
It does.
comedian.
It does.
well, it
You can be
does.
friends
And-
with Astra.
Oh, okay. I like that one. And he's also from Long Island. And he's got the most Italian accent next to Danielle DeLillo that I know.
Yeah. Oh my
And
God.
I think
can't even-
that's how I met Danielle. Was we heard our Italian accents from our New York accents from across the plane, and we
Yeah.
pinpointed. And that's how.
Exactly.
Yeah,
That's what it
it
is.
was like radar.
You Italians, the
he was-
Italians got to stick together.
Yeah, so he was ordering a drink, and then I was like, hey, I know that guy over there. Wound up, my friend John is his cousin, and then that was like, hey, I know your cousin John. I want you to come on to Light FM and do
Well,
this
wait.
and that and the other thing.
The real question is, are they real cousins or are they cousins?
Yeah, his name is
Wow,
John Valentinetti. I mean, come
Real
on, I have a
cousins.
nice name.
Real, like legitimate third cousins.
I mean, because
I
listen,
think Italians are the only ones that have third cousins.
listen,
That's right.
Sal,
And like a
Sal is
legitimate
basically-
third cousin.
Yeah.
Sal's basically like my cousin too. I mean, shit, we're both
That's
from Long
right.
Island, and we're both fucking friends for a while. So you know what? We're fucking cousins, alright? We're cousins.
Astra is my Puerto Rican cuisine. So listen.
Oh, I'm not Puerto
Wait
Rican.
a
She's
second, I was gonna
she's
say.
the coquito
I'm the
plug.
Coquito queen.
She's the best. She's the best. Astra gave me one of my first like big platform interviews after America's Got Talent. So
I
she,
didn't even
she
say shit.
definitely
That was
helped me
weird.
out early on.
And I just have to point out one thing, and I think this might be an Italian thing, but Wendy, did you notice that both Sal and Danielle say my name the same fucking way?
Yes!
It's like the hard A.
Yes.
How would you say it? I would say
But it's-
Astro also.
It's
It's
very
Astra.
funny because there are
Astra.
listeners now that actually spell your name to me when they're writing about the show. ASH. Astra.
Astra. I'm an
Astra.
Danielle
ashtray.
started that.
That's my fault,
Like I'm a fucking ashtray over here. God.
Astra.
Anthony.
Those are the same listeners that add an N to Aston Kutcher's last name.
Yeah.
They go, I love that Aston Kutcher.
No.
He's the best. He's so
Like,
handsome.
You know, I do want to say that
Kutcher.
I love the fact that Danielle is networking with different comedians because I don't know if you guys heard her story about Caroline's. Did she fill you in on this?
Yeah, 7
How-
times.
And how okay. 'Cause it ties in
17.
with the podcast. I mean, who does care? I mean, two comedians here, you guys do this professionally. Like, what are the chances that someone's gonna do Caroline's as their first gig?
Yeah, no, that's weird.
Crickets.
That's weird.
I think that Anthony might be a
I'm
little
like,
bit
all right, well, then I'll
jealous
see
about
you
that
later.
one.
Yeah.
Anthony, you feel a little jealous that Danielle got her first break at Caroline's?
No. I do not have a jealous bone in my body. No.
He's like, no, fuck that shit. I'm just gonna talk shit about her when I get up on Caroline's.
No. Plus, I'm way more popular.
Yeah, he
An-
is way more popular. He is.
You know what? I will say, Anthony, I did know who you were because Danielle was like, oh, my friend Anthony Rodio. I'm like, I know him. He does that like Zia thing with the
Yeah.
Italian. Oh my gosh, you have me peeing in my pants when I
That's not when I started getting back into comedy. I didn't think that people would refer to me as the guy in the house dress. So
Dude, I actually was like,
you're the ant.
for the longest, I actually didn't really know what you looked like because all I know is you behind the whole entire
Yeah.
filter. And I'm
But
like,
when people see me out, it's now it's they that now that I put some of my stand up online and stuff, it's different. But like 8 months ago, I would go somewhere and they would see my face and like you would get them looking at me and then looking at their phone and they'd be like, Vinny. I'm like, no, that's my character's name. And they're like, are you Uncle Vinny? I'm like, yeah. They're like, prove it. I'm like, I don't understand. You want to hit me with a Snapchat filter? I don't understand how you want me to prove it. We're at a bar. So they would
Yeah,
call me.
talk
they would call
about
me
talk
Zio
about
Lucia.
the characters that you have, Anthony. I know you have a few.
I started out with Uncle Vinny. That was an accident. I was in a weight loss competition bet with a cousin of mine, and I made a video doing my father's accent with this filter, and I started making like road rage videos and became really popular. And I started doing video. My main purpose for the videos was to create exposure for me so people would come out and see me perform and then say, okay, well, this guy's a legitimate comedian. And then it just got out of control. And then I, added his wife. My dad has been a recent character. So the scary thing about my dad is when I did a video as my dad, as a character, people are like, oh no, your dad's stealing the light. Your dad's stealing the spotlight. Your father's hilarious. I'm going, you honestly think I got my immigrant 66-year-old father to sing a full freestyle song parody? They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's me with a filter. Everybody was bugged out. But the scary thing is, and Sal could vouch, I think you've seen pictures of my dad, or I don't think you've ever met him, right? You were
Yeah.
on the
Without the
filter-
mustache?
Yes,
It's-
it looks
yeah.
like my dad called me and he goes, oh, you becoming like a magician with this computer. I said, what do you mean? Are you taking me and put me in your house? I'm like, it's not you, Dad. It's me with a filter. So when I trick my own father, it's gotten out of hand. But there's some characters that are going to be revealed. We're actually in the process of this quarantine. Obviously, put everything to a halt, but we're in the process of turning them into an actual full animation on TV. We're working
Love
with
that.
So
That's
they're-
so great.
want me to unleash all the characters. So he does have a daughter. Uncle Vinny has a daughter, Maria, and a gay son named Fabrizio. That's gonna be.
Is that gonna be played by Sal?
No, that's gonna be played by me. I every time if I have more than
He
3
plays
White
all
Claws-
of his cat. Listen,
You're
Yeah.
gonna
he's
be
like
everybody.
the Italian
Yeah.
Nutty
Yeah.
Professor. He plays everybody.
Oh, that's a
The
good one. I
whole-
like that.
the whole
They've
movie.
called me, yeah, and they've called me the Italian Tyler Perry. Yeah, no, I do a very good gay voice every time. If I have more than 3 White Claws, it comes out.
Okay, so here's
I
my
do have a
question.
question for you. I mean, I'm glad. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Wendy.
No, it's okay. You can go.
I know that you said you're making a cartoon version, and that's great and all. But the fact that you're doing it live with all the filters, what's going to happen? Because this happens every now and then. Snapchat changes their filter.
Dude, that was my question.
Uh,
That
so
question.
Snapchat got a hold of the fact that I was doing this. I guess because they saw that the filter was being used a lot more, and they actually wrote me, I think, a year ago, and they sent me an actual lens downloadable to my phone, so I'll never lose the filter.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, they could have sent you a cease and desist.
Well, they got rid of the filter for a while, and
Yeah, I noticed that.
people contacted me. They were like, "Hey, how come you still have the filter and I don't?" I go, "Cause I'm special, bitch."
It's the one with the teeth, like the
Yeah.
Well, it's the big
they
mouth.
sent it to
yeah,
me.
like the
Big
big.
mouth, the tiny nose, and like the big.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
funny. Oh
Wow,
my
that's
goodness.
actually really props to Snapchat for doing that. That's really cool.
Yeah, thanks, Snappy. Appreciate it.
Crazy that they reached out to you. I mean, I use their filters all the time because I like their filters over the Instagram filters. We talked about this like a couple weeks ago. I
Right.
will record all my stuff on Snap and throw it over onto Instagram because they just have the better filters. But nobody's offering me the opportunity to keep the filters. Sometimes they get rid of them. I have to find a new one.
Stop
Well, maybe you're
complaining.
not as funny, you know?
Wow, shots fired. Shots
Maybe-
fired.
Maybe if
No, this
Miss
is-
Caroline were to reach out for me, I'd probably get to keep them.
Will you
You know,
like
they
me to
said
call
domestic
them?
violence was on the rise, but this is ridiculous.
Listen, are we all Long Island?
Well,
Yeah, we're all from
Yeah.
Queen.
Well, yes. Astra's from.
Queens. We're not attached.
I mean, Queens is
Wait.
Long Island.
We're not all currently living
Don't
in the
say
town,
that
but
too
we
loud.
are all from Long
From.
Island for the most part.
Okay.
From.
I saw a meme. It said how you describe Nassau County to people. It's kind of like Queens. How you describe Suffolk County to people. It's kind of like Alabama. It's
Suffolk
people.
is people- Suffolk is out there.
Not wrong.
people- I don't agree with that though.
That's
Beautiful
where I'm
parts of
originally.
Suffolk
I'm
County.
yes, and I'm originally from there, from Suffolk County. But yeah, it's really hard because it's like a whole other world. Suffolk County is so
Well, no, you could be in
different.
Smithtown, and then you cross over into Port Jeff, and then you drive a little too far east,
And
and
the next thing you know, you're like in a
in
different
5
world.
minutes, yeah, you look like you're about to pop up on a live PD episode. You're in the middle of nowhere. You see some guy with no teeth and a blinker out, and that's a recipe for disaster. If you
Yeah,
watch
Suffolk
live
is
PD,
weird, man.
they
Suffolk
always
is
get
really
pulled
weird.
over for no blinker, and it's always meth. It's always meth.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
I
goodness.
can't.
That's what happens when you go too far east.
Well, that's what I like to say about the Suffolk cops is that they are good for watching the grass grow because that's all they do.
Oh, there's nothing going
That's
on.
not true. I've been pulled over many times by Suffolk County
Right,
police.
I
because
wonder
people
why.
They're working very hard.
Because you look like a 25-year-old driving a 1975 Cadillac convertible, blasting Italian music. In
No,
Suffolk.
I'm in the old car now because of what I got in trouble with before.
Oh, okay.
Oh, the meth.
Meth.
Okay.
So, Sal, what have you been up to? Because I see you've been doing a lot of music things and singing still. And what's been going on?
Well, I mean, think about it. You do something every weekend for 4 or 5 years. Every weekend you do it, and you love it, and you become very used to it, and it gives your life purpose. And then all of a sudden, you can't do that anymore. So you can't just sit there and sulk. You'll be too depressed. Things are just you can't feel bad for yourself. You can't lament. You got to pick yourself up. You got to give yourself purpose again. That's what I did. I went on live for a couple times, and then a couple of charities reached out, and we posted their links to the live, and people were watching, and more people started watching, and it kind of built. And then one of the charities that I was working with, Feed the Nurses, they do the PM shift. They take care of all the night shift nurses. They bring them like stuff like protein shakes and bananas, the area restaurants and a lot of people are doing a lot of great stuff, sending them, baked goods and pizza, but they can only eat so much of that. So I found the guys from Mulcahy's, the Murrays, the family that owns Mulcahy's. John owns a couple of other places. He put this all together, and he said, "Hey, how would you like to come down? We'll set up some PA systems in the back of our pickup trucks, and you sing a little bit for the doctors and the nurses." And I said, "Oh, okay, when?" And he said, "Really?" I said, "Really? What let's do it. How do you say thank you? How do you give back, and how can we raise more money for this cause to give back to them?" And so we did it a couple times, and then all the area hospitals heard about it, and they invited us down. And it's just a quick thing we do. If the weather's nice enough, we head down to the hospitals during shift change and just kind of try to make everybody smile.
So you had stuff to say about Suffolk County, and you're over there singing from the back of a pickup truck?
That's right.
I was thinking that too, Anthony.
That's right. But if it had a lift kit, I wouldn't be able to hike my fat ass up into that truck. So it was one of those normal pickup trucks.
I saw videos of you doing it. It was awesome. Thank you.
I saw a ridiculous pickup truck the other day driving out east. It was lifted. How could you possibly get into something how could that possibly be a vehicle that you could actually use for stuff? Like if you need to put groceries in a truck, the truck was literally lifted probably up to my shoulder. I'm 5'10". How do you use that? When you got to put groceries in the truck, do you punt it into the truck like a field goal? Like you're trying to make a field goal? How do you use that?
I can tell Sal watches no football because you don't punt a field goal. But whatever, listen, whatever it is, you have an amazing voice. That's it. You have an amazing voice.
I want to hear you sing.
When you're playing football, you score a home run and you run around the basketball hoop. That's what you do.
I want to hear you sing.
You do not want to hear Sal sing. He came to my house a couple of weeks ago. He's in my backyard, and he started singing, and my pants came off. Just came off.
Well, thankfully, we're all on Zoom. I don't think we have to worry too much.
You know what? At this point, I don't think any of us are wearing pants right now.
No, I've got boxer briefs on right now with a hoodie. I look like an idiot.
You know what? My favorite song from Sal is when he sings "My Way." That's always my request. I'm like, I want that one.
Thank you. Everybody likes that one. That was actually by Paul Anka. He's a little upset about that, but he's always been upset about that.
Why?
Paul Anka wrote "My Way." He wrote "My Way." Beautiful, beautiful lyrics. Frank Sinatra sang it, and so now Paul Anka was an incredibly accomplished songwriter and musician, and had a career in his own right. And now he's like finally touring again with "My Way." And then all I did was sing "My Way" on America's Got Talent. That was my crime. And he ended up not liking me very much because he was finally starting to tour as the guy who wrote "My Way." And then everyone started associating "My Way" with me. And not only did I not write the song, but I'm not Frank Sinatra. I didn't work for that. That just kind of happened. So if I ever met him, I would apologize. I don't know, what for, but I would.
Apologize. Don't even let me find out you ever apologized for that.
Yeah, do you know?
That's like all the old school comics. They call me like when I meet them out. Oh, you're the leapfrog. I'm like, excuse me, you're the leapfrog. You're the guy that leapfrogged the industry, and in a year you went to like selling out like theaters. I'm like, leapfrog. How about I know about marketing, you old geriatric bastard.
Yeah, no. Well, Anthony, like within the reason why he's leapfrog is within a year, he did everything. He didn't jump over any steps really. He did everything that a comic has to do to build as big of an audience as he has in about I think we kind of figured it out once. It was like 10 months. It was a little less than a year, and people often associate that with he didn't grind to get here.
Probably,
but that's not true.
I'll never apologize for success. Nobody should.
No.
You don't have you're not going to be the only singer in this world. I'm not going to be the only comedian. So people just dwell so much on someone else's success. Like I'm taking away their chances. There's not one comedian. There's not one singer. So what I did was I ended up I didn't want to open mic. I didn't want to feature for anybody. I knew I was a good enough comedian to headline, and I had all this material. I have about 40 hours of material where I write material for my videos. I write material for my stand-up. I write material for my podcast. So I had so much material, but I had to get on stage. So I started renting out these 500-person theaters, and thank God we were selling them out. And so people saw me online, and then word of mouth. So it's always, with me, like Sal and I have spoken, it's a numbers game. If you're selling out a show of 500 people, those 500 people tell 50 people, well, now, 25,000 people know about you. And if you just keep that going. So, right before this quarantine hit, I had my busiest week. We had a sold out show in Chicago, over 700 people on Sunday. Then I was in Florida on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Rhode Island, Friday, Massachusetts, Saturday back in New York. And it was literally over, I think it was 4,000 or 5,000 people that week. And that momentum, and then the quarantine, when we hit quarantine, I said, well, I'm not going to just post a video a week. I'm going to post one every day. I'm just going to go overboard and make a video every single day, which my brain is fried because I don't know how many more videos I can literally make. But the quarantine, when we started, March 11th was the last time I ran numbers for our social media. And I do everything myself. I've got companies asking me to do it. I don't want to let anybody run it because they're never going to run it the way I am. And, no one's going to put the passion you put into your own work. So I looked at my numbers on March 11th, and I think we had 185,000 followers combined. And this morning, I think we're at like 650. So in a little less than 2 months, the quarantine was, something good because it gave me a chance to really get out there because everyone's home. What are you going to watch the news? You'll stab yourself. It's miserable. It's like news, Steel Magnolias.
We were just talking about that today. It's the worst.
It's horrible. It's horrible.
So how do you fight the whole, the content creation fatigue?
I'm addicted to it. It's an addiction.
It's
It really
absolutely insane.
No,
I don't know.
addicting.
I don't know if he's ever told anyone this. I'm gonna spoil the secret right now. He'll post I'll be making this video. This is coming out.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you explain. This is comedic suicide.
Okay. He'll say this video is, I'm doing a video on this at 7 o'clock. It's coming out at 7 p.m. tonight. He'll announce that in the morning. Then he'll spend not the rest of the day, but a good part of the day making it, like putting it together, doing the material, and actually working it out. By that 7 p.m. deadline, he has to post it. He already said it to his fans.
Yeah, so
I'll literally
have nothing made. I'll have an idea.
That is terrifying.
I like that.
From noon to 7, I'm pressured now to make this video.
Yeah, that's self-made pressure. That's insane.
Yeah,
comedy roulette.
Pressure. I work pretty well in the pressure.
Like, I know Astra's TikTok video. She's like already had it done like the night before, and she's like,
No, I do the same thing. I work under pressure. Like I'll be scrolling through TikTok, and all of a sudden, like before I saw this song, I was like, you know what? I want to put this up right now. I'm going to do it right now. And I just do it. Like I need to be pushed and I need to have that like drive, because if I don't have that, then I'm just going to sit back and be like, oh, I'll do it when I feel like it. No, I need to know if I'm telling someone I'm doing it now, I'm doing it now.
Correct. Yeah. So I kind of put myself up against a wall with that where, I get people that, because I know my DMs and my messages are going to go crazy if I don't post it. Like even like Cameo, I'm on Cameo doing messages.
Need to know.
They request me for cameos 4 days in advance, and I give them to them like when I have 10 minutes left. It's like your cameo's gonna expire.
I did that the other day.
You do when the notification pops up on your phone.
Yeah.
Hey, this is Cameo.
Anthony,
make someone smile today.
Yes.
Anthony, do you do your cameos in character, or do you do them as you?
I leave that choice up to the people booking it.
Oh,
That's right.
So if it's like we want it in character, then you'll do it in character.
Yeah, I did one. It was for a 6-year-old kid, and she said he doesn't believe you do all the characters. So I literally did it from me, and then morphed into Zia Lucia, then morphed into Uncle Vinny, and then morphed into my dad.
Oh my God, I love it.
That's cool.
And then I'm screwed when I bring out his daughter and son, because I feel like a schizophrenic as it is.
I mean, that's like our job. Wendy and I, we talk on the air all day, and technically we're talking to ourselves.
I was going to say, do you ever feel like you're talking to yourself?
Yes, but it worked to my benefit, because then when this quarantine happened, I felt so bad because so many people were, my tickets were selling better than they were. And then all of a sudden this thing happened. So I felt bad that people wanted to come to the show. So I thought of doing a stand-up comedy show where I can post it. So I posted on Vimeo.com where they can go, they can purchase it. They have 3 days to watch it. But everyone, we couldn't even get a camera crew because the stuff, this was back the first week and a half of April. So everyone was like, dude, I'm not coming out and filming. We're in a pandemic. So I finally spoke to a friend of mine that has a photography studio. We had camera people come out to Governor's Comedy Club in Long Island, and I literally did an hour stand-up special in front of no audience. So everyone was like, well, how are you going to do that with no feedback? I'm like, dude, I do that every day. I stare into the camera and I have nothing
That would
laughing
be
at me.
hard. Like you have nobody reacting, and you're just.
Yeah, it was definitely the hardest thing
know.
I ever did in terms of comedy. But I mean, I know, and I tried new material. It wasn't even like I did stuff that I'm used to. I wrote new like quarantine material, new stories. Like Sal's been to 4 of my shows. You'll always hear something different. I'm constantly
They're
writing.
all different.
I hate it when you go see a comedian and you fall in love with them and you see them next year and it's the same show. It's like that.
And you say next year, within a couple of months, I'll see him every couple of months, and it'll be different.
So
You know,
you have new quarantine material. Why don't you hit us with some stuff right
Oh
now?
my
'Cause
God,
I need
new
a good
quarantine-
laugh.
I still want to hear
So,
Sal sing.
This is probably one of my favorite stories. So quarantine, everybody's on edge. So I have no filter. I'm on edge all the time. I have no filter. This whole thing. So I do things to make myself happy. I like buying things for myself. I'm a tech geek. Like I love like technology and stuff. So the video started getting crazy. So I ordered a Mac computer, new Mac, beautiful Mac, which I'm on now. Beautiful Mac, new editing software, and I order it. And I don't like stupid people. I hate I can't, like, some people can lower their IQ for a conversation. I can't do it. I get anxiety. So I order the Mac computer and I'm like a little kid. I tell my wife, I'm like, listen, I tell my wife, my daughter, Daddy needs 30 minutes in the basement to enjoy this gift. Okay. I want to play with it. I want to open it. I want to set it up. So they're like, yeah, all right, fine. No problem. So I'm in the basement and my wife starts hearing yelling. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. If this was a fucking raffle, I wouldn't have won it. And she's like, what's going on? I'm like, yo, how many iMacs do you think they sell in a month? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like, a lot. What are the chances of mine not turning on? It won't turn on. I'm plugging it in. It won't turn on. I'm flipping out. I'm like, did you do something with the electricity? Do we have a power surge? So I call up Apple. Jeremy gets on the phone. I think his name was Jeremy. And I go, how you doing, Jeremy? He goes, hey, how you doing? How can I help you? I said, I just got a new Mac computer. Oh, what's the order number? I'm like, here's my order number. Oh, it's a beautiful piece of machinery you got there. Who am I speaking to? Mr. Anthony Rodia. Oh, Mr. Rodia. How do you like it? I don't like it, Jeremy. He's like, why? I'm like, because it doesn't turn on. He goes, now Jeremy had a choice. He can see how pissed off I am, and he could have went down this road where it was just conversation and seeing how he can make me happy. But he decided to go this way, which it's all protocol. And now he has to read from that stupid menu that they give him of like objections. So I go, my computer doesn't turn on. His question was, sir, is it plugged in? I flipped my shit. I said, Jeremy, you honestly think that I opened the box and just started hitting my computer and wondering why it's not on?
But you have to, there are people that probably do that.
But I'm not one of them. Don't assume I'm one of them. So
Don't insult his intelligence.
He goes, sir, what do you see when you look at the screen? I go, myself, dipshit. It's a black mirror. I'm looking at myself. So I go, I want a new computer, Jeremy. Skip down to the part where you couldn't figure anything out and just send me to sales. So he goes, all right, so, I want to troubleshoot. What are you going to troubleshoot? What are you, like, moronic? The thing is in a box. I'm about to throw it outside. Get me to sales. So I go to sales, and Veronica picks up. She goes, hi, how you doing? Thank you for calling sales. How may I help you? I go, hey, how you doing, Veronica? How you doing today? I'm not doing good. Why not? What's the matter? I go, don't give me that fake sensitivity stuff. I said, you don't care how my day is going, and I don't care that you don't care. I want my computer. Oh, well, what's wrong with the one you have? It doesn't turn on. Did you plug it in? I go, what are you, related to Jeremy? Are you guys cousins? I go, get me my computer. So she ended up, I got to reach out to her and give her props because she stuck it right to me. After complaining, I go, I have a project due. I had no project. I need it by Friday. It's Tuesday. She goes, you'll have it by Friday. I go, are you sure? She goes, I'm sure. I go, if we were together right now, would you pinky promise? Because I'm big on pinky promises. She goes, I pinky promise you'll have it by Friday. Well, my mistake. I didn't ask her which Friday because I got it the next Friday and I want to fucking strangle Veronica.
Oh my God.
But like that dumb. Listen, if you have a Mac computer and you don't plug it in and you're wondering why it doesn't turn on, you should be institutionalized. I shouldn't be penalized and I get that question asked. Is it plugged in? You don't think I did that before I tried, Jeremy? Jeremy's watching. You're an asshole.
I'm surprised Jeremy didn't ask you if you have a power outage in your house too.
No, listen, I told him, I said, Jeremy, I plugged it into a wall before I called you. I plugged it into the plug where my refrigerator is plugged into because it's a dedicated line. I was about to go to my garage and plug it into my generator, Jeremy. So I'm very, very extensive when it comes to electricity. Get me a computer.
The ironic thing is, Anthony, that at the Apple Store, guys like Jeremy are called geniuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, good thing Jeremy wasn't in front of me.
Yeah, that genius bar.
I would
They
hit
wear
him
a
with an eye
T-shirt
back.
that says genius.
Dumbest
If you
thing.
gotta
I
wear
won't
a
even.
T-shirt,
I
that
will
says
not go
genius,
into an
you're
Apple
not a
store.
genius.
I refuse to go into an Apple store. I refuse.
Oh my
'Cause they
god.
look at you like you're an idiot every time you go in. Hi, what's the problem? Listen, dipshit. Okay, you're 19 years old. You got a dumb collar shirt on with an apple on it. Okay, how much money do you make, Jeremy? Oh, I hate that. Genius.
Enough to break your balls.
Correct. Well, that's why he probably breaks my balls. He's like, it's a summer job. Okay, and you didn't.
enough to put you in an iPad an hour and 45 minutes from the back of the line.
Sometimes I wish I was an Android person. I really do.
Which, by the way, if you ever go into an Apple store, be nice to those kids in the front because they absolutely have control
They have
over
all the
where you
power
go in
in
the
world.
line.
You'll be waiting there
It
for
was-
3 weeks.
It was Christmas time. My phone was broken, and I was like, I got to get this done. I'm going out of town tomorrow. I have to get a new phone. So I go to the guy, and I said, how long is the wait? He said, well, no, first they ask if you have an appointment. Like, yeah, right, I have an appointment to go to the Apple store. Yeah. So first they go, okay, it's an hour and 45-minute wait. I'm like this. I pull out $20. I'm like, is it? The kid goes, you can come back in 20 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I can. I'm going to go get a pretzel.
We got you a 20-minute wait? Jeez, what would happen? What if you pulled out 100?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not giving nobody an Apple Store $100. They're about to, at Apple Store you have a choice, right? They have all sorts of variety of phones. And then when your phone breaks, you also get a choice. If you don't have the Apple Care, if you didn't make an appointment, you could either get it, in the front or the back. That's how they tell you at
Well,
the
front
Apple
and
Store.
back. That's how I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ.
Danielle doesn't talk for 15 minutes. That's her next comment.
That's right.
That's Danielle.
Were you not listening to the intro?
She was like
Anthony?
waiting. She was like waiting. She was like, "Ooh, something I can relate to." Run it back. Run
That's
it back.
exactly right. That's exactly right. I'm the one.
Danielle, not for nothing. Front and back. You make it like you have other options. Do you take it in the side? I don't.
I mean, she takes it in the ear at times, but
Really? So you can
That's-
hear what's going on? I don't.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
About that
Do you hear
wax.
the ocean? I wonder.
Is that called an ear infection? I just.
Yes, I didn't know that.
she still can't figure it out though.
You stole her punchline.
You can't figure out. That was good, Astra. I got
Nice.
you
We
minute.
can keep going with this. You can't hear-
Listen,
Wow.
Anthony,
You have to-
Anthony, if you need any guests on your podcast, you know.
Oh
who-
yeah, hell yeah! I always need guests. Sal's always on. Hell yeah. We can
So
keep
I have a
going.
question. How did the two of you know each other?
I met Sal at a pizzeria.
Wait, was
I'm
that when
joking.
Sal was actually
I'm joking.
delivering pizza?
No,
Or
I'm joking. How do we
Gullible.
how do we physically meet?
Physically meet was at a show.
Yes, I saw.
Whose
So
show?
I was.
Yours or Anthony's?
No, we were at Brokerage for another comedy show, and Sal and I met
Peter
there.
Gaudio.
Yeah. And then Sal and I met there, and then we just hit it off.
It was Peter Gaudio and Mike
yes.
Carino playing
Yes,
the
you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Peter Gordio, so if you don't know Peter Gordio, he's about, I think he's in his 60s. And he's built like a brick shithouse. Like I have to,
jacked.
I wear big clothes around him because he embarrasses me. He's got like muscles in his teeth.
So wait, so Anthony, did you know who Sal was?
Yeah.
And Sal, did you
Yeah.
know who Anthony was? When you
Of
guys met?
course. I followed him.
So
Anthony,
what's funny is when I started becoming, a little known, like my name started getting out there, I started meeting other people in the industry, in the entertainment business. So when, I never even told Sal this, dude, do not break my balls about this. So my family loves Sal. I mean, we watched American Got Talent, and we love his voice, whatever. And when Italians see other Italians on TV, like I remember, like my uncle was watching. He goes, "Yo, you saw that Italian kid that sing on American Got Talent?" I said, yeah, you better get the gold bars. Italian people the best to sing. I'm like, all right, calm down. All right. So when I saw Sal, I remember I walked out for a phone call. I think I called my sister. I go, hey, real quick, guess who I'm hanging out with? Sal the Voice. I'll talk to you later. And then I went inside. We had something to eat.
Aw.
Oh,
You
that's
think
really
you guys would
cute.
ever collaborate
You're
on
the best.
A lot of people want us to do a show together where, like, I
Yeah.
like mixing it and giving it different kind of feels than what you're used to. So, like, for instance, I'll be at Staten Island, St. George Theater in August, and because it has a very high population of Guidos and Guidettes, and people that come to my show are 90% Italian or old school, I have a half an hour before the show for 30 minutes, George Lamond. I'll be doing a little private concert for
We
him.
know George.
I love George.
I can
Best.
definitely do something with Sal. We're going to do something. I think Chicago's a good place for it. Jersey, New York is a good place for it. But we could definitely do something like
I
that.
got an idea. Wendy and I will be the MCs. Danielle will open. You'll do the comedy, and Sal will do the singing. You got the whole show.
All
Wow,
so
there you
Goodbye
go.
Johnny, apparently Astra said you're not.
Yeah, right. What happened to poor Goomba?
Goomba's my man. He's
Listen, he's gonna have to do a set because that's his full-time thing now, right?
Yeah, he travels. with me.
Goomba's
Yeah, we tour
amazing.
together. We
He's
tour together.
amazing.
But you know,
Yeah, good guy.
if you watch somebody like a Seth MacFarlane who kind of weaves the music into the comedy, I wonder if that's something you could do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but Sal's weird with that. Sal's not just a singer. Like Sal, he's got a huge personality. Like we did an interview together where he does this segment, Get in the Car, and it was probably one of the best interviews I've had. I mean, I've had a bunch of them so far, and it's Sal. Like Sal works comedy into his singing. Like when you go see Sal perform, you don't just sit there and see a concert. I mean, he interacts with the crowd. He's got a huge personality. So I mean, there's definitely something that we can do there. I remember the first time Goomba Johnny met you. You guys are at so Johnny calls me up. He goes, "Hey, I think I met your buddy Sal Valentinetti." And I said, "Oh, where?" He goes, "Friars Club." He goes, "Dude, unbelievable." I go, "His singing?" He goes, "No, his singing's good, but it's not what I'm talking about." He goes, "We all did a show. We did comedy, and Sal." And it's
Well, no. I listen. Before you get to that, you got to set it up. They did it was an Italian night at the Friars Club, and people were just being rude. They were, they were, the comics were hilarious, and people were like being, it was Tara, it was Goomba, it was Regina, and I was
Regina?
I
love her.
The end of
I
the
love
night was
her.
music. So
Love
go
her.
ahead. So go ahead.
So Sal gets on, and I said to Goomba Johnny, I said, what struck you about him? And he goes, "Dude, the guy's personality, he shocked me. Usually these singers are very distinguished, and he's in a tux. He gets on stage, and some guy in the front goes, 'Who's this guy?' He goes, 'I'm the fucking headliner.' He goes, he said that, I fell in love with him. And then his voice just sounded like angels."
Yeah, that's the thing. You wouldn't expect like a Frank Sinatra kind of vibe from you, right?
No.
No, because you hear his Italian like, "Hey, how you doing?" And then all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know what? This is why, Sal, we're gonna cue you right now. You got to give everybody a little taste of what you have to offer.
Ooh.
Oh, a little taste. Okay.
And I want it from the front and back.
No, that's Danielle.
That's Danielle.
The front and the back. Get
I'll
the
just
fuck
turn my
outta here.
chair.
All right. Everybody grab onto your pants.
Hold on. Let me put
I'm not wearing any.
I don't have any.
The summer wind came blowing in from across the sea, and it lingered there to touch your hair and walk with me. All summer long we sang a song, then we strolled that golden sand, two sweethearts and the summer wind.
Oh my God, I'm tearing up over here.
I love it. It's like if you close your eyes, you really think that you're listening to like this 65-year-old man, and all of a sudden you're like,
Fucking kid's only 25 years old. I hate him.
exactly. That's
so
my
nice.
point.
24.
Wait,
24.
you're only 24 years old?
Yeah, he's a
24.
baby.
voice doesn't match up.
I would give one of everything I have a pair of to be 24 again.
Yeah.
Make your creativity.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Sal, when
No, I would give my arm for the set of balls on Anthony Rodia, because some of the comments I get on social media like make me want to pull my hair out. And Anthony, you have to see, some of these people are rude.
Wait,
Like
you
some of
would
these
give your
people
arm for my balls?
come at him, and Anthony just boom obliterates them to the point where like Anthony is the best at dealing with hecklers.
Yeah.
Like to the point where people come up to him and they're like, "Oh, hey man, listen, I'm sorry about that."
Oh, I've had people. So I'm the worst person to heckle. You don't want to heckle me because I'll just get very evil in a comedy way where everyone's laughing and you just feel like you want to crawl in a hole and bury yourself. So I had a guy, and my whole thing is a lot of the reason why I have like, you come to one of my shows, the support system I have for my fans is it's scary in a sense because they are like, you say something rude online about me, they'll attack you. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I've never lost touch on the fact that my fans are the reason why I can do what I do. A lot of people in the industry kind of lose touch of that, and they don't give their fans enough recognition. I stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning answering emails, messaging people back, commenting on people that leave comments. But it also goes for people that want to be jackasses and leave something. Now, I don't fault anybody for their opinion. You have your opinion. I'm going to take the negative with the positive. You can't just take the positive. But when someone leaves, the difference between an opinion and a jackass is somebody goes, "I didn't find this funny." That's fine. But then when they put anybody that finds this funny is an idiot. Well, now you're a moron because you're leaving it on a video. So one guy did that. I said, "Buddy, you're leaving it on a video that has 3 million views, 68,000 shares, 12,000 comments, almost all positive, and you think it's them?" I said, "You probably live in your mother's basement. You have 6 cats, and you haven't showered in 6 weeks, and you probably smell like the inside of a hockey glove, you loser." And I just kept bashing him. And he messages me, and he goes, "Dude, can you chill out, man? Can you
Oh,
chill
now
out?
he's scared.
Can you chill out?
You're really hitting close to home." I said, "Your parents ever go on vacation without you? It was on purpose. It wasn't to see if you're responsible enough to stay home by yourself." I was hitting him hard. And he goes, can you chill out, man? I'm sorry.
Some trolls do it for the attention though, because
Yeah,
you
of
gave him
course.
what he wanted.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's the whole thing. If you walked up to a guy in the street and you swung at him, you'd expect to get hit back.
Correct. These people don't.
And that
They
guy
don't.
has every right to
Right.
not beat the shit out of you.
I
And
had
not
one
stop.
lady. She goes, she writes me this. I mean, every time I get a long email, I know it's bad because no one actually takes that much time to compliment. And she goes, "I've always loved your stuff. I've came to 6 of your shows. I have 3 of your t-shirts, but I'm no longer going to follow you because I went to your last show and I counted 16 F curses in an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh my
Count it.
God.
And I said,
Count
"Oh,
it.
okay." I said, "Well, here's 17. Go fuck yourself." And she goes, "How dare you?" And I go, "How dare me?" I go, "Let me explain something to you. If you walk down the street and smack somebody in the mouth, would you get offended if they smack you back? Because that's the attitude people like you have. They're allowed to lash out, but they don't want you lashing back. And it's so irritating how this world has become where there's so many of these sensitive people out there that they're offended by everything. If they don't like it, they want it taken down. So they don't care if anybody else enjoys it. They don't like it, they want it taken down. And that
Right.
mentality is so frustrating, especially for a performer, because it's like, do you not care about anyone else? Like, I have people that are going through cancer, that have lost loved ones. They rely on my comedy. I mean, I get messages all the time. "Hey, listen, I lost my dad a year ago. I lost my mom a year ago. I listened to your comedy. It makes me laugh and kind of forget." And when you kind of zone in on comedy, that's what it's used for. That's what it should be used for, an escape from reality. So these people see that and they go, "Oh, this is stupid. It should be off the air. It should be off social media." Well, what about the people that actually enjoy it? Like if I went to a
Right.
restaurant and, I don't like liver, I'm not going to tell the restaurant owner, "Hey, can you take this off the menu so I don't have to see it or ever get tempted to order it?" Like, that mentality just frustrates me. And then when I go live and bash them, I get my fans, "Aunt, calm down. You just breathe. Don't let it bother you." I'm like, "No, it doesn't bother me. I have no filter and I can't bite my tongue." My father told me
That's right.
when I was 7 years old. He goes, "If you want to say something and you got something inside that you need to speak and you keep it inside, you're going to get a stomachache and shit your pants." I said,
God.
"Okay." So now I don't keep it inside. I'm still very nervous about going to the bathroom by myself. So
We
it's not
work
that
really-
it bothers me. You
Yeah.
just sometimes have to shout them back and put them in their place.
We work really hard on our brand for our fans, for the people
Right.
who love it. And we double down on it. We work really, really hard at that. And oftentimes the people who are more critical are not people who've been, with us from the very beginning, are people just chiming in and trying to give their opinion. But what they don't realize is their opinion is only that. You have an opinion, that's great. But just because it's your opinion doesn't mean it's something that I should be doing, because
Correct.
I cater to the masses. That's what we do here.
You should have
And
told
if you
that
don't-
woman that she could have gone to check out a Will Smith sketch or something.
Yeah, no,
Right.
With more PG.
But that's what, like, I don't even use bad curses. Like, I don't use the C words or anything like that. Like, there's certain
Yeah.
words I don't use. I use words that I heard growing up in an Italian house. They weren't horrible curses, but like, my daughter's been to my shows. She knows what not and what to say and what not to say out of the house. When we're joking around, she'll curse at home to be funny, but she knows never to say that in public. So these people that they want everything to be PG and PC and rated G, just turn the channel. Like, if you don't want to watch something, just turn the channel.
It's not even turn the channel, because the channel comes up on your TV. You could just be flipping through and end up. You have to seek us out
Right.
and follow us. And
Well,
at any
don't you-
point, you can
don't-
click and unfollow.
Don't
Trolls
you
show
love
up-
the fact that the haters that hate your stuff, like all the people out there that cannot stand my character, I think the filter's dumb, I think this is stupid. One guy goes, "This is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. You've been doing this for 2 years. When are you going to stop?" How do you know I've been doing it for 2 years? The haters know everything about you.
Oh,
They know
yeah.
where you perform. They know how many videos you've had. They know how tall you are, what's your favorite food. Like,
God.
it's like they know so much about you. Concentrate on yourself, and maybe you'd make something of yourself instead of worrying about me.
Well, your
So-
haters are your biggest motivators. That's why.
100%. If you don't have haters, you're not big enough. You need
Just a
haters.
moment ago, you guys were talking about your brands. So I'm curious, because you seem to, I mean, Anthony, you do a lot yourself with social media, and Sal, I'm actually really curious about this. What would you say, like, who are your audience? Mostly
so
male, female, age group?
I run numbers all the time. My agency that I work with, they run numbers. I have the weirdest age demographic. My age demographic is from, and this is basic, this is what they can track on social media, but my age demographic is from 9 to 86.
What?
Yeah.
That's
It's
that's
from,
how I
like,
was
birth
very
to
curious.
death. It's crazy. So I have kids that are in love with my characters. They find them hysterical. So I'm going to start doing YouTube Kids, like story times with the characters.
I guess there you
Aw,
can't
that's
really use the F
awesome.
words.
No, I mean, I don't know, but I could put like a little twist into it where it's, it's my own version of the nursery rhyme. But it's
That's
9 to
cute.
86 is the age demographic, and I think I'm at 62% female and 38% male, which I prefer, because when you have a higher female audience, a female will either go to a show with her friends or she's going to drag a guy that doesn't want to go.
Those
And I
females
think
more likely to spend the
100%,
money.
100%. Or the guys will, 100%. And I get guys approaching me all the time at my shows. They go, "Hey, man, my girlfriend dragged me here. I never heard of you. I watched some of your stuff online before we came. I thought it was absolutely annoying, but you're funny as hell on stage. I'm a fan." I'm like, "Oh, thanks. I
You get new
appreciate it."
fans
Like,
that way.
and I love that more than a diehard fan, because that guy came in blind and he enjoyed my stand-up.
And walked out a fan.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Sal, because I feel like your answer is going to be really odd.
Yes.
Well, it is, because you have young kids who watch America's Got Talent and come because of that. And then you have older people who come because of the music.
Right.
And then you have the generations in between, because they're either coming with their kids or their parents. And that's where we kind of catch them. I have a bit of a gap in between, but mostly women too, because I guess just music and everything. People
It's
are
mostly
mostly.
Pearly Blues, you sensitive son of a bitch.
Oh,
Do you remember when
stop
Clay
it, you
Aiken
devil.
was on American Idol all those years ago?
Clay
had-
Aiken?
Yeah, I'm not comparing you to Clay Aiken, but I'm
I
just
hope
saying
not.
all those older women, they were like obsessed with him.
Obsessed.
Still are. Still
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
That
they-
fan base
when-
is
when we
really
were-
something
when we were
else.
in Florida, Sal was at one of my shows. The women he was getting attacked by like 50 and 60-year-old cougars. And a Florida cougar is a lot more vicious than a New York cougar, because they will
Right.
just come out. Like, one lady came up to me, she goes,
My husband died 2 years ago, and I'm on the prowl. Where are you staying?
I'm like, get away from me.
The Marriott, room 617.
Yeah.
I'm like, you caught me in a drought.
Oh my God, I can't with this one.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I went to one of Sal's shows. I went to the show in Huntington at the Paramount. And I was like, oh my gosh, like there were like 80-year-old people like loving it. And I'm just like, wow. And then
Your grandma's throwing their panties.
seriously, I was like, these
You ever
Grammys.
get hit in the head with a wire brassiere
They're
before?
bloomers.
No, it's like they walk in with a cane, but they walk out like with excitement.
They're like pumping their cane in the air.
I came in with my walking device, but I left with excitement.
You had me so fired up, I left my respirator system at my seat.
So listen, I love the fact that you guys have such a diehard fan base. And for somebody who's just starting out in comedy like Danielle, like first off, Dee, I have to tell you the fact that you have the balls to go on stage
Balls.
with no experience, and Astra and I literally shitting ourselves at the venue. Like, what kind of advice would you give her, not just on stand-up, but like building her brand? How does she get that diehard following that you two have?
So, all right, it's with me because I mean, Sal and I spoke about it when we had the interview. When it gradually happens, it's easy to like grasp onto and get used to. With me, I literally, I mean, it was like 10 months. It built up where I can start doing shows where people actually came. And when you start seeing that, it's scary. Like when I went to Chicago and there was 780 people there, I'm like, these people, I don't know anybody in Chicago. You know, we were doing shows in Toronto, Florida. We were booked for Australia. When you build something, it's great to see it build. The actual process, you can't forecast it. Like I came out with the character, and the best advice I can give is don't be a mainstream comic. There's too many mainstream comics. And when you're a mainstream comic, you're not really touching on one particular thing. So what I did was I came out with the old school off the boat comedy. I didn't want to be called the king of Italian comedy. I wanted to be called the king of off the boat comedy, because then you get Italians and Argentinians and Germans and all these different nationalities that were brought up the same way. And whatever you want to do in comedy, as long as you could touch on something, whether you want to touch on women, you want to hit this particular nerve, when you go to a show and that comedian says something that has literally happened to you in your house with your family, that's when you get that, you know, you're touching them in a way where they're like, wow, like I hear it all the time. You have cameras in my house? That's my family that you're doing. So when you want to do comedy, you want to find something, whatever it is. It took me a while to figure it out, but you want to find something that's going to hit that nerve where you're going to hit so many people in terms of relating to what you're saying. And then from there, when you start building an audience, keep in contact with them. Talk to your audience.
And how should she do this? Can she should she be
Make
putting
videos.
out content on YouTube
Yeah,
or
hell
Instagram?
yeah, make videos.
Like, where should it be? Where should it live?
You got it. Without
And
social
how
media,
often?
without social media, I would still
Everywhere.
be doing a
It
9
should
to
be
5.
everywhere.
We're
Yeah,
going to
should
be
be
your
on all of the
managers, Steve. We're
above.
going to be your managers.
and
All
don't
of
have
the
any
above.
managers. That's the second lesson. Don't have
Oh, we just got fired.
That was a
Can't.
short-lived career.
No, use social media. Listen, you have the accent. You're going to relate to a lot of Italians. If like I've heard some of your stuff, it is funny. If you're funny and you're a woman, you already have a step up, because a lot of female comedians are already, the crowds come and they see a female comic and they already have a wall to climb versus a male comic, because
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of guys are like, oh, females aren't funny. Listen,
Right.
I'm a hell of an Ellen DeGeneres fan. Okay, I like her energy. I look at the comic. I don't look at the gender. But you have a
Yeah.
tougher job than a male comic. But you should be edgy. Don't filter yourself. I mean, obviously, watch what you say. You don't want to just go out there and start cursing like Lisa Lampanelli. But don't filter yourself.
The front of
Don't walk on eggshells and say whatever the hell you want, because you have to be prepared. Like, if I have 600,000 fans and I have 60,000 haters, I'll take that ratio all day. All day. You could work on a 90-10. So when you come out, you're going to have people that say, your language is disgusting. I don't like your attitude. I don't like your accent. Take that as fuel and and use it to please the people that
Haters always help you out.
Hell yeah. I love
the more
my-
people who hate you, that's just people who are paying attention.
I'm going to have a special day of the year called Hug a Hater. You just go out, find a hater, and hug them.
I like
Come
that.
here.
We'll make it a
Come
hashtag.
here, hug a
Or you
hater.
can high five a hater because if you hug them, they might try to stab you in the back.
After quarantine, hug a hater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
probably never be hugging ever again.
Yeah, right.
Anthony, what about those like the Italian puppet comedians? Because I'm sure you've seen them too. It's like it's similar to what you do. I mean, you have a character which is with a filter, but there's like puppets that I've seen that are actual Italian,
Yeah,
Italian
it's
accents.
see, it's when you. I didn't want to do puppets, and when you come see me on stage, guys like that, you're gonna see on stage what you see on social media. They're one dimensional. There's nothing wrong with that. Listen, people ask me all the time, how do you do what you do? I don't have an answer for it. I
Right.
have no clue how my brain works. I wake up at 3:00 in the morning, I get a drink of water, I get an idea, I come downstairs and I start writing material for 2 hours. I don't know how it's done. But when people ask me, they're like, why don't you do puppets? Why don't you bring your characters on stage? I said, well, then I'm not giving you any reason to come out and see me. You could
That's
just,
also not your tool. That's not your tool.
no.
You know, a lot of comics, you know, especially prop comics, puppet comics, that's their tool.
Yeah, they wouldn't be able to do comedy without the puppet.
I'm not necessarily sure of that, but that's their
I know
tool.
I know a lot of them. I know some of the guys actually use puppets because they originally had stage fright doing comedy without them. And
Right.
the puppet is kind of like a mechanism that lets them, like, listen, when I'm Uncle Vinny, I say shit as Uncle Vinny that I would never say on
That's
stage.
Some
like
deep
a Terry
psychological
Fator.
shit.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
I
It's
know,
like
there's
schizophrenic.
a comedian that he used to try to perform and he got booed off stage left and right because he just froze up, and he started doing these puppets, and he ended up getting a table and he would hide behind the table and do these puppets and say what he wanted to say, and he became funnier. And now he has the puppets. The problem with that is your puppets get the exposure and the recognition and nobody knows who the hell the creator is. With
Right.
me, it's a little different because I made sure people knew I was the creator of my characters because I was in the videos with them, and then I do stand-up. Now, if I did my characters the whole time, you kind of get buried behind your characters and you don't ever you're not able to make a name for yourself.
Right.
How do you-
I likened it to like 3 different brands of comedy, of Rodea comedy. There's the characters, which are their own entity, their own little world. Then there's the podcast, which is everything that's on your mind, everything that's bothering you. You just kind of let it rip. And then there's the stand-up, which
Right.
is where all of that was born from. Was this smart, witty comedy that just it kills every time, and
It
all of
warms
that.
my heart when he describes me in such a spot-on way.
I love
wish
your
I could
bromance
see-
more
Watch-
than anything else.
It is a
here.
bromance with me and him.
Like the
Oh,
two of you
you
really
watch
love
it-
each other.
Well,
We
you know
do.
what it is.
I just want to climb into his fila jacket.
Oh.
There's something beyond being talented. Anthony's a very humble and down to earth guy, and when you meet people in this industry, as you know, Astra, as you guys know, you meet people in this industry. Oftentimes, you be disappointed, and I wasn't disappointed when I met Anthony. And we
Yeah,
all,
same with me.
all of us, we all got together, and it was just kind of like very comfortable. We were brought up the same way. The same reason why Anthony has such a big fan base is because he's just a down to earth, relatable guy.
Right.
And if you
It's
watch,
relatable.
go back and watch we did an interview a little while ago for a new digital series that I'm working on.
Yeah, it's on my Facebook.
It's on Anthony's Facebook, and you really get that. You see that Anthony is just a good guy who loved this thing, who took it, who's always constantly been taking chances. Taking a chance on himself when he was booking theaters to eventually sell them out. He takes a chance on a daily basis. He posts something in the morning that he's going to make in the afternoon. So you see that he constantly bets on himself, and because of that, that's where this kind of creative monster comes from.
Well, that's probably the best advice. Like we were talking about what advice to give Danielle. Bet on yourself. You got to bet on yourself. But
Always.
the same thing when I met Sal. I said what I saw, like what you see with me on stage. That's the same person you see off stage. Same thing with Sal. And I think that's what kind of like we clicked, because what I saw on TV is what I saw in person, and it's like him and I. My father always said it. You don't ever let your ego become bigger than your brain, because then that's what starts making your decisions. You become an asshole. And a lot of the people in this industry, their ego becomes so big and they forget that without the people that enjoy watching them, they wouldn't, I don't care who you are, you don't have fans, you're no longer relevant. And how they stop paying attention to their fans, listen, there are a lot of whack jobs out there. I get messages at 4 o'clock in the morning. Hey, what are you doing? What's going on? I find you funny. Send me a picture. I'm like, no,
Hey,
you're a
you up?
65-year-old man named Henry.
So
I
you
don't
guys
trust
get
you.
tons of pictures of freaking crazy people in there.
I do, and I delete them right after I look at them. But the thing is,
Oh, did you call it DJ Khaled? Like what he just did the other day where he's like, no, stop.
oh yeah, I'm like this. I'm like, oh, what is wrong with these women sending me naked pictures?
And then you're like, no, and then you know what you
That's
do?
it.
You probably put it into your Vault app that you have. Where
I
nobody
do not have a Vault app that's disguised as a calculator.
Anthony,
I
I, do have
stop
one
and
question.
put my
I have
phone.
a question for you, Anthony. When
Yeah.
you depict your characters in your live comedy skit, how do you do that when you're utilizing the filter all the time? When you're
No, I don't. You don't see the characters in my live. You don't.
Oh.
I sometimes don't even mention them.
Oh,
So
so
basically,
Comedy.
Sal hit on it perfect. When I do my podcast, that's a way for me to vent about certain current events that are going on that people want it. Like I like to always be the guy to say what you're thinking. So when I have my podcast, I'll talk about politics, I'll talk about religion, I'll talk about whatever the hell I don't talk about on stage. And I don't bring it on stage because so many of these comedians, these late night talk show hosts, they overkill the political jokes. And I'm just tired of them. I'm tired of hearing it. So on my podcast, I vent about what's going on. Online, I do my characters and all my skits. But when you see me live, it's kind of like the brain behind everything. And you hear about how I'm brought up and, you know, my life now and certain stories and stuff that I actually kind of, you know, conform into a stand-up comedy. But no, I don't think I'll ever, unless I did a one-man show, I don't think I'll ever bring the characters.
There's no way you could actually go out in public in a house dress. I don't think, you know, like that would be.
yes, I just see it. That would be amazing.
I got caught. I was doing Road Rage Wednesday one Wednesday, and I was in a house dress, and I'm in my car. I'm in my truck with the house dress, my wig on, my glasses, and I have dark tinted windows. And I had an Asian family that lived up the street, and I didn't realize I'm in my driveway filming one of the segments, and a whole family we just did my house over at this point. We did stone all over the house and stuff, and he's looking at my house with his family, and all of a sudden he looks at my truck, and I'm like, don't come up to my truck right now. And he knocks on my window, and I lower the window.
No.
Got the wig, the house dress, and the glasses on, and I go, "What's up, man?" He goes, he looks at me and goes, you live here? I said, yep, I'm the owner. I'm the Il Capitan. And he goes, who did you stonework? And with the whole time he's just like this. Buddy of mine, Mighty Pavers. You want me to get his number? No, that's okay. I look it up myself. Thank you. Grabs his wife and just storms up the street. And I'm like, that guy will never come back.
Oh my
God.
Wait, question though, whose house dress are you wearing?
I have 6 of them. I ordered on Amazon.
My nana calls them schmatas.
Schmatas, muumuus.
The
People
fact that
like
you actually
that's
ordered
another thing.
them
Like
They're like surprisingly comfortable. I'm not saying that I own one,
oh my God, they're so airy.
I know.
I was watching TV the other night. I did a video for Cameo and I just left it on. And not the wig. I just left it on. I was just chilling in a house dress.
You wear underwear, Bob?
Yeah, of
You don't
course.
have
I don't
to.
know. Listen, there's no Zia that goes commando. That's just disgusting. But no, you can't. At a certain age, you can't go commando. You'll have dandruff all over the top of your feet. So
Ew, disgusting.
just being real. It's honest.
We hate hairy balls.
You hate Harry
Yeah, you're
Balls.
right.
You said hairy balls.
That
twice
makes it
in
better.
the intro.
That makes it
In the
better.
intro to your show. How many
Danielle goes,
times hairy
ooh,
balls?
dandruff is
Basically, the premise
disgusting.
of our podcast.
What about hairy balls?
I hate them.
Hairy balls.
I hate
No,
them.
I actually have people that
lays it
watch
off.
my videos and they'll go, when is Zia Lucia going to get another dress? She's been in this dress for a year. I'm like, oh my God, I'll buy another dress.
What?
Oh yeah, the shit they
That's a psych. That is the mark of a psychopath.
Yeah.
Where do
And
you,
you know what?
where do you even get the
Ironically,
schmatas? Is it like a schmata store?
Everyone that sends me messages like
schmata
that,
shop.
like, you know, oh, Zia Lucia should get a hair done. Zia Lucia should wear different shoes. Those people, ironically, not all of them, but psychos out there, if you look at their Facebook accounts or their Instagram, it's not a picture of them. It's their pet or their car. It's a picture of like
Yeah.
a black cat. It's not even their
It's-
cat.
some guy went on and on. I went live from one of the hospitals we were at last night. We were performing for the staff, and I went live to post the link to raise money to donate to the staff. So some guy said it's a conspiracy that I'm raising money for myself because I'm in a hospital performing for the nurses, and it's also a conspiracy because I'm not wearing a mask. What do you think his profile picture was?
A cat?
A cat?
No, it was like a pointer. It was like a lab pointer mix. And I said, boy, how do you type with those paws? You know, like what
Listen, even when I
We
did
should
the
have
video,
him open for you with the comedy.
when I did the video,
No, I'm
I had
table
the
funny.
video
It's
on demand.
different.
It's $19.99. You get 3 days to rent it. People, and I'll answer questions. They're like, why didn't you let us purchase it? I go, because I'm working with networks to do an actual comedy special at an actual arena. And if I let you purchase it, all that material I can no longer use because you have it. So then people said, well, why aren't you? And then we're donating, it's on for the next month, but we're donating a portion to Bethany Frankel's charity. So they go, why don't you donate the whole thing? I don't know, because I'm not working. I mean, can I take a salary?
Yeah.
And the people that I did the special with aren't working. So I'm paying the comics, I'm paying the camera guys, I'm paying the club, and then I'm donating, and then I'm taking some. They're like, oh, well, that's greedy. What are you doing to help society? I don't understand. Like, people make me laugh. They're like, oh, you admit that you're taking some? Yes,
Yes,
I'm
of
not.
course. It's your job. It's your full-time job.
I'm like,
Those
what
are the
about all the
same
free
people-
content I give you every day online,
Yeah.
you greedy bastard?
It's like
The
it's kind of
people-
like the influencers on Instagram. Like I know they're still trying to sell stuff, but for a lot of them, it's their job.
Correct.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
People are disgraziados,
Yeah. Why should I do this for free?
Her phantom comments. She just comes out like, hold on. This is Danielle in a 15-minute period.
Here we go.
Hairy balls.
I'm listening.
Front and back.
And then
Front and back.
Something
I take it
Italian.
in the front and back. Yeah.
Right.
Wait, hold on.
And then she'll
You
throw in
are
some
all-
Italian.
Pasta fazool.
Oh, I love pasta fazool.
Oh my God.
You are all talking. I'm being the good one here, not talking over nobody, listening, making sure I don't step over nobody. And I'm getting crucified because I bump in and this, that, and the other thing. The fungal, all right?
Has anyone ever?
He
has anyone
literally
ever-
said 78 words and 3 of them had substance. I'm telling you, I don't think I've ever met anybody more greedette. You see how dramatic? She goes, oh, I'm sitting here trying to use it now. I'm trying not to step on your toes. And, Wendy, you're going bada bing, bada boom. And Ashley, you're like this and that and the other thing. And you know what? Forget about it.
Oh, I'm
She
taking
sounds like
notes right
Lorraine
now
Bracco.
for best of clips. Basically, I just wrote 9/12. Danielle loses her mind.
She sounds like when Lorraine Bracco gets out of the car in Goodfellas and goes after
Yes.
Ray Liotta. Who do you think you are, Frankie Valli? It's a big shot.
That's exactly how I feel right now.
You don't know how I feel. Can you just say it?
You don't know how I feel.
Oh my
Goodness. So
God.
guys, how can we reach out to you? I mean, I'm sure you're gonna get a lot of new fans now. Our tailies are like diehards. So they're gonna be tied to you. So
Oh, you guys are going to get fans too. I'm going to tell everybody, tails over cocktails.
well, tails
I'm
over
sure you are.
tails.
Right. Tails over cocktails.
Tails.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna type all the words so that my 80-year-old fans don't get startled. I'm gonna say this video features balls,
Harry.
front and back.
This video is X-rated, just so you know.
I fucking hate hairy balls, okay? Let me tell you. In the beginning of our podcast last year, we talked about how I go and get laser hair removal. Not anymore because it's done. I got my 9 sessions. I'm good.
Are you hairless?
I'm
She
hairless.
gets zapped and tapped.
I get zapped and tapped. They go zzz.
Do you
and
look
then
like
they
a
tap
sphinx
my-
cat?
What?
What?
Yeah, she does probably.
Yeah.
Sphinxy. That's your new nickname, Sphinxy.
Sphinxy.
Oh my
No,
lord.
just call her linoleum flooring.
Oh my God.
Is this fucking pick on Danielle DeLillo night? Or...
That actually sounds like an old lady's name. Hey, linoleum.
Hey, linoleum.
Hey,
Oh
linoleum.
my god.
I'm going to call you Linolia.
Yeah, all right. Sounds good.
So Anthony, how can we find you on socials?
My address is 450. No, I'm at Rodea Comedy on everything. YouTube, Rodea Comedy, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and then Facebook is Anthony Rodea Comedy.
And Sal?
Sal the Voice on everything. And on Patreon right now, we got a new music video up. So go check it out. Get in the car. We resume filming when this is all over. And I do my live every Sunday. Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Nice.
YouTube. On Twitter, he's Pearly Blues.
Wait, so Anthony, you're on TikTok? I'm on TikTok too. We should duet.
Yeah, I'm TikToking. I'm TikToking the hell out of it.
Want to TikTok and rock on a duet? Because Wendy's still
hell-
trying to learn it. So
I'm a
down.
dancer. I'm a dancer. I used to teach
gave
dance
up.
for 2 years.
Can I just tell you the funniest TikTok that Anthony did was with his daughter when they did Flip the Switch?
Oh, I
my
put her
God.
clothes on. My daughter's 4. I had a
Oh my
4-year-old tank
God.
top on. Yeah.
It was so funny. You have to
That
go
wasn't
watch it.
Michelle.
I'm about to go
No,
follow you
that was
on
Gabriella's.
everything right
That was
now.
Gabriella's
Yeah.
tank top.
So you know what?
Wow.
We're gonna follow you. Well, actually, I already follow
Yeah.
Sal, but Anthony, I'm gonna have to follow you. Wendy's gonna follow you.
I'm gonna
both.
follow everybody.
Follow
And,
us. Stalk the shit out of us.
Mishpucha.
And I'm gonna test you, Anthony. You said you respond to everyone. If I don't
Yeah.
get a response, you're getting an unfollow.
Sal, do I
I was just
respond?
looking for a follow
Where
back.
are you following me
Let's
on?
be clear.
Where are you following me
I'll
on?
follow you on Instagram, and I'm also gonna get you on TikTok because I'm heavy on the two of those.
Oh, so TikTok, I can't message back because apparently I made a TikTok a year ago and I used my cell number, and now I try to put it. You know, you have to put your number in order to get messages or answer back.
What?
It says your
Yeah.
phone number's already been used, and I don't know.
That's
How
not
to,
bullshit.
I'm dead serious. Message me on Instagram. I'll answer. TikTok, I can't.
No, I'll message you on Instagram, and
I'm
I'll
TikTokless.
TikTok list.
Does everybody
Well,
still have a drink, by the way? Because as is our custom, the way that we end our show. On the count of 3, guys.
Oh, she's got the bottle.
Oh, hold on. We gotta wait. We gotta wait.
Sal's gotta
I
get
gotta
his
get a
water.
fresh one.
I'm
Gotta
done.
get his water.
Dude, what the heck happened? You drank a whole bottle by yourself?
You drink the bottle?
Yeah, the whole thing.
They have programs for
Damn.
that.
Yeah, I know.
You know what? I'm shocked that she stayed quiet if she drank the whole damn bottle.
Yeah, me too. I was actually just thinking, you stole my thoughts again for the second time this show. I
Wendy,
hate
we
that.
are on the same wavelength tonight.
I know, really are.
Used to are done. That's it.
I know. I was actually thinking I might go get some more after this.
Wait, what's Sal
What is it,
drinking?
Cafe
Is that
Patron?
tequila? Is that tequila, Sal?
Cafe
Wasn't it
Patron.
Cinco de Mayo?
Share some of that with Danielle.
Cafe
I love Cafe Patron. It's my favorite.
Well, gentlemen, it's been such a pleasure having you on our show this
Yeah, it was
week.
definitely fun.
And until next time, till we meet again.
Cheers!
Tales over cocktails.